Hi guys, this is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto Zertuche here. This is one of our older nets that we've had for a better part of about 10 years. Well, we got new netting in, new cable, rope coated cable, and we are going to be resetting this up. So stay tuned, this could be interesting. Guys, so to start my net, it starts off like this. So from here, I'm going to have to divide it up into two equal sections so that way we can put on the hoop. So that's the way to do it. Made it easy. Okay, now that I've got them in two sections, I've got to now attach it to my hoop here. By doing that, I'm basically going to recreate the knot, and I'm going to create another section of these hoops that go around my hoop here. So let's get to it. Find my starting point. And also too, when these nets come in, they come in basically a simple stitch like this to keep them in place. But what I go ahead and do is replace all of this so that way it looks very similar to that. So you can't tell that it's been stitched up there. But, you know what, let's go ahead and do that first. Let me stitch that, and then we'll come back and we'll put it to the hoop. Alright guys, so what I've done is I have separated the lines, or I've separated the top loop and the bottom loop. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use those extra strands to reattach my top loop of the net to my top loop, and then my bottom loop to my bottom loop at the bottom. And this will give me the excess line that I need so that way I can start putting the net back together. I don't know if any of y'all have mended nets before, but it is a long process, and actually I don't have the proper tools that are actually out there that can help you make this a bit faster. But for the time being, this will work. We'll get it done, and it may take a little bit of while. So stay tuned. Hi guys! I somehow did not hit the record button on the phone when I started the bottom loop. And basically what I forgot to mention was, when I'm attaching the bottom hook, it's still an octagon like the top, it's just a mini version. So what I like to do is I like to follow my stitching where I've actually connected the net back on itself and line it up with my bottom portion. So that way, as the net sits, it'll be a straight flat side like an octagon going from a big to a small one, instead of it being off-centered or something like that. Just me being a little picky on my behalf, but at the end of the day, it's all about the product that you create. I'm a little picky. I've seen other hoops where they start off with the hoop up here and they'll go to an octagon, or vice versa, a hoop up top and an octagon on the bottom. It's just kind of the way I am and stuff like that. So if I'm being a little picky, yeah, that's me. So welcome to the hard life. Also too, I was sitting there and I was going at this for a while, and you know, I had a small conversation with myself. Well, good thing I wasn't answering. Is that right? Yeah. So, anyway, so I'm back to it. Knots is making me hungry. Hold on. Oh man. Lunch break. So, my first net out of this that I actually built. I built it by hand. And I tied every single knot in it. That net, however, was a 5-footer. A lot bigger. We end up using 1,500 feet of rope to make the net come down and be deep enough for big sharks. I'll post some of those pictures here toward the end and everything so you can check it out. Pretty cool color design. Still being used to this day, but it's in desperate need of a new net. So if y'all are watching, guys, come on by. Let's get that net redone, and it definitely won't take 30 hours like I did that one. Man, that one took forever. So hold on. All right. Whew, that was a long one. Now, our bottom hoop is attached. Now what we need to do is stitch in the netting that's going to remain down here with, so we can block off our bottom so our catch doesn't slip through, obviously. And at the same time too, what I'll be doing is I'll separate the knots accordingly to each of the spacing here so that way they're in there equally. Obviously you don't want to have all the netting on the one side, so this will help out with that. I found my center portion where I joined the two nets, and I started from right there, and I started counting my knots, and I went all the way around and I got 70. So what I did was I divided 70 by 8, and that gave me my number of how many of these knots have to be per section. And after you look at it, it's going to be kind of tight in there. However, that's going to be a great thing because the more that is there, that means there's going to be a lot of support towards the base of this net. The weight is also supported by each one of these strands up here. They may look thin, but when you got 150 of them or 160 of them, it's a lot stronger than having 10 or 20. So obviously, you know, it's like having one stick, you can break it, but you get a whole bundle of sticks, it's going to be very hard to break. That's the same theory of this. So in order to bring in these big sharks safely, we want the net to work properly, but also support the amount of weight that we're intending to put in there. So let's get started. All right, this is stainless steel rope coated cable. And what it is there's actual stainless steel cable within the woven rope that's on the outside. Now, the beautiful thing about this stuff is you can weave it just like you can any other cable. Okay, the last time I built the net, I had extra cable. And from there, I had already set up my loop right there by opening the 7 strands of my rope coated cable, making my loop, and then back braiding it on itself. So technically, this is as strong as 2 strands coming up like this. There is the center strands that are holding it, as you can see right here, and on the inside. So basically, it's like 2 pieces of cable being pulled up like this. It's the best way to ensure that no side of the supported strands will pull the loop either way. They're both going to pull at the same time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up to where I want my supports to be. And what I'll do is I'm pretty much dividing the net into the equal amount of shares of the pie. Granted, 8 sides doesn't divide into 3 equally, but I'm going to get it as close as I can to that. And from the last several nets I've built, I know that 2 of them will sit right there and the 3rd one will be over here. That will actually enable the net to be picked up at a level portion. So at this point, what I'm going to do, like with regular cable, when you split them apart, I've got 3 strands over here and I got 4 over here. The 4th one is the center core right there that you can see there. And this is actually a pretty good class right here because this is the same way you would do your smaller braids of cable if you're going to back braid your cable so you can throw a sleeve on, or technically you don't even need to throw a sleeve on there. You can use a piece of tape. I know a bunch of guys out there that don't use any sleeves on any of their leaders. They back braid everything and they use tape. And so here's one of the ways to do it. Now, I've already selected the side that I'm going to throw my one support on. And so now that I've got it open, I'm going to insert my cable. I'm going to take my other piece of the cable around. I'm going to go ahead and start my loop. And the way you back braid is, you'll see this, the center core right there. See how it's telling me that it's going this way? Well, that's the way I need to take the outer 3 strands on it so I can realign my cables and reinsert, or get them back into its proper place so they don't have any slack cables and or looks dysfunctional. So now I'm going to take my other side, I'm going to go the opposite way, same thing. And as you can see, it looks like the cable's already coming together pretty nice. Now what I'm going to do is, on this tag end here, I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce the cables to themselves. And there we go. This is going to be another portion of this is where I'm actually going to tie paracord on here and close out my knot so it acts as a crimp for my cable there. Alright, so there's one. Let's see now. There we go. Over here. So, yeah, as you notice, the net will tend to move. Now that I've measured both sides to ensure they're both equal length, I'm going to go ahead and cut my 3rd one. And what I'm going to do is, using these, will be my guide, because obviously it's going to be a rough estimate. now we've got our landing rope, and what we've used for ours is this 1.25 inch, which when there's a lot of weight, it gives you enough grip to where it's not too skinny in your hands and you lose grip. This nice thick grip gives us enough to land these big sharks that we want to land. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to splice into it, and instead of 3 strands like the cable, or 7 strands like the cable has, I got 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send 2 in one side, I'm going to send the 3rd one in the opposite way. Alright guys, so I've back braided my rope now. What I'm going to do is I can do a closeout here with my paracord to keep this from unraveling. But what I'm going to do now is this little device here is going to allow me to attach a rope that's going to go through, come around the edge of my hoop here, and come back through here, and it's going to go up about 8 foot. What that ends up doing is when the hoop you're landing it is underneath the pier where you would have to swing it out, that rope, you'll pull on it and it'll tilt your net sideways and allowing your net to come up along the side of the pier. This will help so that way you're not having to swing 300 to 400 pounds of shark out from underneath. Trust me, it's a pain. So our rope for that will be this 5/8 inch rope right here, and let's go and get this one opened up. Alright guys, I forgot to go ahead and record it while I did it, but if you ever get into cutting some thicker size ropes, these mono cutters work really well. These are a cheap version, but there's some pretty heavy duty ones out there, but these can cut through pretty nice. And what you can also do is take a lighter and hit it on the edge and it'll actually melt it so it kind of stays together on you. The original rope over there, you saw it was already worked on, so I did not have a chance to do that. Now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and double check it real quick. I want to make sure that it's not going to be tighter than my cable is. So it's nice and loose there. I'm going to walk it up to where I can find I got to insert it into my rope. Alright, so now that I've got it in place, the same thing. Once I got it in here, what I want to do is I'll take paracord and wrap it around here and lock it in place. Yeah, I'm not going to finish it all off because there's a lot of, I mean, I'll be sitting here for quite a bit with a huge video trying to get it all set up for you. But this is how I build a large shark landing net. Going from a hoop to the netting, to adding the netting, the bottom, making sure that's tight so that way that shark hits it and slide across it and go into the bigger netting where I want him to be. And then my tilting rope and so forth. Just a quick little demonstration. Like I said, when it's underneath the pier here, they'll pull on this rope here and they'll suck it up. What ends up happening is now my catch would be backed up in this part of the net there. So this will help drastically enable you to land your sharks a lot quicker. So I've got a lot more work to do, but I just wanted to give you a quick rundown on how we do it. And next we'll be doing a lot more videos of behind the scenes on what it takes to do what we do. And we're gonna actually take it even further back for us. Now my plan is to go through all my reels because I'm prepping for another tournament. And in that tournament, you know, it's all about landing the fish that you hook into. However, one of the first steps for us is to actually go back through and check all of our reels, check all of our line, check our leaders, this and that. Well, our first step for me, pull all those reels off the rods, download them, and go foot by foot, yard by yard, reel by reel, ensuring that all the braid is good to go. Obviously, I don't need to go all the way down to a lot of them, but I can tell where I have yacked out baits and that braid has been exposed. Granted, the braid is a lot more abrasion resistant than anything we've ever used. I just am still over precautious and want to know that every inch of my braid is good to go when I go to yak a bait or cast a bait, because at any given time there could be a lot of money riding on that one line. Don't let it fail you by not doing a little bit of precautionary checkup and maintenance on your gear. So this is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto Zertuche. Again, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I please encourage you to do so. This will give us the ability to keep doing a lot more videos and get a lot more knowledge to share with y'all. And if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, please keep them in a positive fashion, as we are a family-oriented channel and want our next generations to feel free to watch, learn, and be able to pass on our knowledge. So till next time, this is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto Zertuche. Y'all have a blessed day.